this country. Might want to start again.
He quit.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Yeah. 10 seconds remaining.
There'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back, it's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws, he's got an open man. Pass top 10, 5, end zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Five, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for a Monday and for a new week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Wiggs in the studio. Brad Howe and Greg Hunter are both at the women's basketball game, so we'll kind of have a portion of the show will be a game line, like the old game line situation with Mountaineer football. We'll do that with the women in the NCAA tournament. Kentucky, with the second half just underway, Kentucky has taken a 41-36 lead, a game that was tied at 36 at the half. Also, much more to get to. We've got a lot to review from the weekend. State High School Basketball Championships. Head coach Brad Napier of AAA champ Chapmanville will join us, along with one of his seniors, Eli Smith, and also Jared Calhoun, set to take the Cincinnati job. So all that to get into. Let's go to Brad at the Coliseum, where Brad, Mountaineers just got an inside bucket there to reduce the deficit, and the score 43-36 Kentucky. First of all, good evening to you. Thanks for coming on.
Well, good evening to you, Kyle. And yeah, I was about to get on here and say what a great comeback by West Virginia to close the half there and get that thing back even. And here comes Kentucky right out of the locker room in the second half to jump out to a lead here. Yeah,
Asia Boone hit a three. And then they got a free throw, I believe. Now they're up 43-36. First of all, your impressions in the first half. It was back and forth. West Virginia jumped out to a lead. Kentucky had a big run. They got up by 11. And then, as you mentioned, West Virginia closed the gap there the final few minutes of the second quarter, and it was tied 36 at the half.
Yeah, early on, it looked to be Kentucky's game from this standpoint. They were using their great size. They go 6'4", 6'5" on the inside, and you could tell that was causing West Virginia problems. The pace was one at which Kentucky wanted to play a little bit slower. Kentucky doesn't turn it over a lot. That's what was happening. Then West Virginia got it cranked up a little bit. And I think the surprise to me was that West Virginia was attacking inside so well, given that great size. And it was a problem early with some block shots, and then West Virginia turned around and got it together and actually led by 2 when it came to points in the paint at half. I would not have predicted that. But West Virginia was having success inside. I do think it's one of those, Cal, I don't know how many turnovers you're going to be able to create. You're certainly not going to get the number that you normally do. It doesn't appear. I think West Virginia is going to need some threes here in the second half if they're going to walk out of here with the win. Continue to attack inside, but I think you're going to have to, if those bigs are going to stay in the lane on you, you're going to have to make some outside shots, I think.
Yeah, Kara Strack had a couple of block shots. Clara Strack, I should say, had a couple of block shots, and also their other big player, Key, has been exceptional. Tiani Key, they've combined for 23 points and 11 rebounds so far. And, a couple of times, as you're right, West Virginia took it right to, in particular, Strack. Mimi Wheeler went right around her one time for a basket in the first quarter. But the one thing that Strack does that's very important here is she gets right in the middle of that press. They throw it to her at 6'5" in the middle of the court, and that's helped them handle West Virginia's press.
Yeah, that's been one of the biggest things. That's why I say I don't know that you're going to get the normal points off turnovers that you do. Again, it's a Kentucky team that takes care of it well on average, and they don't seem to be flustered very much by the press. There were a couple possessions that they started to turn it over, got a double dribble mixed in, and the crowd was going bananas. And let me tell you, it was loud in here. When this group is cranked up, it is loud. And I know we talked about the atmosphere from Saturday. This is right up there. It was chaos getting in here in terms of just the number of people trying to get in. There's a ton of gold in the building, and when West Virginia gets rolling, it is as loud as it's been in this building for any event. So that's really good. So if West Virginia can get back in this, close the gap a little bit, and get this thing close down the stretch, I think that's when the crowd can work its magic a little bit.
Well, speak a minute. They've gone to a media timeout. Speak a minute about that in terms of, you texted me at 3 o'clock 2 hours before the game and said it was chaos over there. And it's great to see, it was perfect Saturday. The weather was beautiful. It was in the middle of the day. People that travel could get there. And you wonder, well, 5 o'clock on Monday, how are people going to react? How are they going to get there? But like you say, that Mountaineer fans have responded every bit as much as they did Saturday.
Yeah, I talked to some folks that were here in the building, and they said if there's less people in here tonight, it maybe is only by a couple hundred. There are maybe 2 rows on each end, like behind the baskets at the very top of this building. Other than that, it is pretty well filled up. And Kyle, you're right. They opened the lots at 2:30. I was pulling into a spot at about 3:10. I got parked, and there were spots around me. Within 20 minutes, those were filled up too. And then we stood in line. When they opened the doors, it took another 15, 25 minutes to get people through the doors. There were so many people coming into this. So the atmosphere is just A+. You talk about responding, as you just did with Mountaineer fans. They have in a big way. And if this is a loss, it's not because of the fan base in this one. They have done a great job. And you're just hopeful now. Stay close enough here that you can let that fan base take over and get you the win here late.
43-36 coming out of that timeout, and Kentucky just got another block shot that led to a run out, but they did not convert on that shot. So West Virginia, Brad, in terms of shooting the basketball, it's not been one of their best games. They certainly haven't shot it today like they did Saturday, under 40% overall, and just 3 of 11 from 3 so far.
Yeah, and this stat I'm about to give you is a tad dated because I did not pull it up at halftime. But just before the half, West Virginia was only 6 of 13 on layups. So that length inside for Kentucky, in addition to the block shots, they're altering and making West Virginia at least aware of them. And I think it did cause some misses on what would have been easy baskets. So continue to attack, but I think what you're going to have, as I said earlier, get into that lane and then kick back out, and you're going to need Gia Cook and Sydney Shaw to get cranked up from three-point land here. And I think that's where we talk about this crowd. That's where it will really get going. You bang down a couple threes or then pick off a turnover or a 10-second violation, then this place really goes nuts. But schematically, I think that's the biggest surprise coming out of the half is that West Virginia is having success in attacking inside so well with that great size.
Kentucky scores again, so 6 minutes to go, third quarter. It's 45-38 Kentucky. All right, Brad, we'll let you get back to it. We're right in the middle of the third quarter here, and we're scheduled to be joined by Greg Hunter. Hopefully the game will be over by the time we go off the air and we can get a quick report, a quick hit for Greg about some final thoughts and the conclusion of this game. Gia Cook scores in the lane for West Virginia. So, but then Kentucky comes right back and counters back and forth. I mean, this has been, not only is it a great atmosphere, but these are, obviously, you're in the round of 32. These are two excellent teams, and Kentucky's battle-tested all the top 10 teams they've played through the year in the SEC, and they really haven't been affected by the crowds because they see this a lot on the road in the SEC.
It's a great point, and that's what I was just about to wrap up with. I was going to say, regardless of outcome today, this is two very worthy Sweet 16 teams here. You can see that these are two of the very best playing right now. So, yeah, let's hope West Virginia can keep it close and get through at the end. And that little pre-production meeting on the air here, if at the end, if Greg's unavailable because the game's ended and he's in the press conference,
okay,
I'm available, so feel free to call me back if you need to.
All right, very good. Brad, enjoy the second half and hopefully a Mountaineer comeback here.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. Brad
Howe from the Coliseum. He got to a quiet spot somehow. I mean, I heard a little bit of noise in the background, some cheering and a little bit of PA, but somehow he found the lone quiet spot in the Coliseum. Kentucky's lead is 47, make it 48-38, so they're up 10. They were up by as many as 11 in the first half, but it's a 10-point Kentucky lead, 48-38 with 5:19 left to play. And again, Clara Strack leading the way with 14 points in this contest. Offensive rebounding, as you can imagine, with 6'4" and 6'5" down underneath. That's been a factor in this contest as, again, Kentucky with the rebounding edge overall 25-17. They've got 9 offensive rebounds and 11 second-chance points. So there's a difference right there. They've got an 8-point lead, and they've got 11 second-chance points off 9 offensive rebounds. Gia Cook leading West Virginia in scoring with 15 points. Sydney Shaw has 12, and Shaw has hit a three-pointer in the second half. West Virginia's first three-pointer of the second half. They had 3 in the first half. So Shaw has 3, Gia Cook has 1 three-pointer, and the Mountaineers are down by 8 points here, 49-41 with 4:53 to go in quarter number 3. Your texts are invited, 304 Talk 304. Your thoughts on what you're seeing in the midst of this WVU women's basketball game. Thoughts from the weekend in the state tournament as well. And as I mentioned, it looks like Jared Calhoun to Cincinnati is pretty much a done deal. A number of media outlets reporting that, including The Athletic. That's the story I'm reading right now with The Athletic. And what a meteoric rise for Jared Calhoun. At 44 years old, he takes over at a Big 12 conference school in Cincinnati, and you have to believe it's one of his dream jobs because he graduated from there, worked under Coach Huggins at Cincinnati, of course, followed Coach Huggins to West Virginia, took an enormous gamble to leave the staff of a Power 5 Division I program to take over as a Division II head coach, but that's what you've got to do to build your way up and climb the ladder. So Jared takes over at Fairmont State, coaches there, goes to Youngstown State for 7 years, goes to Utah State for a couple of years, reaches the NCAA tournament, wins an NCAA tournament game at Utah State, finishes with a 55-15 record there, and now he is on to the University of Cincinnati coaching his alma mater. So congratulations to Jared Calhoun, one of the all-time great guys, and again, former Mountaineer assistant, former Fairmont State head coach. Now he'll be on the opposing sideline going up against West Virginia as many as once or twice a year as he takes over a big program, a Big 12 program at Cincinnati. All right, we're going to take a slight detour here. We're going to talk high school basketball for a bit as head coach Brad Napier of Chapmanville scheduled to join us along with one of his senior players, Eli Smith. We'll discuss Chapmanville's state championship, more on the women's game as well as we continue on with the CityNet statewide sports line for this Monday. When you choose CityNet, you're choosing a 100% West Virginia-owned internet provider with local support. No call centers, no runaround, just fast, dependable fiber internet backed by people who live and work right here. Plus, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a year. Visit citynet.net today.
Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Calva Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Calva Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us. Visit citynet.net.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
CityNet Statewide Sportsline for this Monday. Kyle Wigg solo here in the studio, in the Health Plan Studios. Brad and Greg are both at the women's basketball game. And an update, Kentucky's up by 10, 56-46. And Kentucky has a player, Asia Boone, who didn't score in the first half. She's hit three-pointers in this third quarter. And that's been the story of the second half for Kentucky so far. Asia Boone with 3 3-pointers, helping Kentucky build the lead. Jordan Harrison countered with a 3. Mimi Wheeler had another take from the foul line down the lane for a layup. So the Mountaineers continue to attack the basket. But, man, West Virginia's got 5 3-pointers after Harrison hit one in the third, and Kentucky has matched that with 5. 3 from Asia Boone in the second half, and it's a 10-point Kentucky lead, 58-48 late in the third quarter. More on that coming up as we move along on the CityNet Statewide Sports Line. Now we're joined by the victorious head coach, the state champion head coach, once again, Brad Napier of Chapmanville. And, Coach, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about, and I want to ask Eli Smith's coming on here in a little bit, but your perspective on the last 48 hours since winning that state championship early in the evening. On Saturday, you celebrated with your players and your fans on the court, and then upstairs at the Coliseum, and then I assume you returned to Chapmanville that night to another big celebration. What's the last 48 hours been like?
I mean, it's been fun. It's been, I'm still tired, wore out from it was a long week, fun week. Had a lot of, great memories we made. Just a lot of excitement, and just really happy for our guys. This group plays extremely hard, and they like each other. They get along. They have fun together. So I'm just really happy for them.
And this is 4 championships in 9 years for your program, so it's established. It's one of the best in the state. How does that sit with you and your staff and the community? The fact that you're a consistent winner.
That's what we want to be. We don't want to be a one-hit wonder. We want to be, competitive each year. And I think we've done that. Even the years where, we were sort of down, we only had one year we didn't make it to the state tournament, and our 2 leading scorers were both hurt in the regional that year. Not saying that we would have won if we would have had them healthy, but it would have definitely gave us a better shot. But, just really proud of our program. All the guys that went through our program since 2018 have won a championship. Been a part of a championship. So just really happy for them and really happy for the community and the people who support us.
Let's take you through the path here in Charleston. In the quarterfinal round, you take on a Robert C. Byrd team that is loaded with seniors. It's hard to imagine how deep the AAA field, when you consider RCB with all those seniors, was the 8th seed. But you're the top seed, and in that game you had 30 offensive rebounds. You shoot 25 from 55 from the field and win that game. So you knew you'd get a tough test from Byrd, even though it was 1 versus 8, and that was certainly the case. It seemed like the offensive rebounding was the difference.
Yeah, I told everybody, always ask about, how I feel and stuff about the first game. And I told them, I was like, Bird's not your typical 8 seed. A very talented team, very athletic, got guys that can really score, shooters. We knew they were going to be a tough out. And, we'd watched a lot of film on them. And they're a good team. And they, that was a tough game. All 3 games this year were tough. They were, we played 3 good teams, 3 well-coached teams that gave us all we wanted and then some. So, Bird was definitely a challenge.
Yeah, that Robert C. Bird. Go ahead.
Our offensive rebounding has kind of saved us in a lot of games this year and kind of been the difference. And even in that championship game, probably the 2 biggest plays of the game were those 2 offensive rebounds on foul shots.
Yeah.
That you take those 4 points off the board for us, and, we probably don't win that game.
So in that RCB game, our next guest will be Eli Smith. That was his best scoring game of the tournament. He had 17 points. Keaton Terry had 18, and Keaton followed that up with a 17-point performance against Winfield in the semifinals. And then, again, that state championship game against North Marion, it's basically a one-possession game because North Marion had the ball down 3 and took a shot at the tie. The 3-point shot doesn't fall, but again, you win that one. You survive that one 71-67. And, North Marion, man, you talk about a gritty physical group. That was a tremendous game and a tremendous matchup.
Yeah, it was. I think Eli actually got a piece of that, partially blocked that last shot. But they just continue to make shots, and thank goodness we were making shots too, because it was, they would make a shot, we would make a shot. They would, and they were tough shots. A lot of those shots, they wasn't wide open shots. They were tough looks and in high pressure situations. And both teams, I thought, played about as good as they could play and shot the ball about as good as we could shoot it. I think we were maybe 81% from the field in the first half, and we were only up by 1 point. And when I looked at that, I was like, we might be in trouble if they keep shooting like they are. So, but it was a great game. One of the best I've ever been a part of. It was played on an extremely high level from both teams, I thought. And, both teams, you could tell they really wanted to win that game. I think we both were spent at the end of it. I know my guys were done.
You got a nice mix. You've got obviously some senior leaders and Eli Smith and Benji Atkins and a handful of other seniors on the team, but a lot of youth in there, mostly sophomores and a couple of freshmen. So talk about that a little bit, the mix of this team.
Yeah, we're very sophomore heavy. We got Kyle Martin's the only junior on the team. We have several freshmen. But for the most part, the bulk of our team is sophomores, and a lot of those guys played last year. Dakota Dalton, Jay Brock, and Keaton Terry all started last year for us as freshmen, and I think us making it over last year, and even though we lost that 1 point game to Fairmont, I think that gave us a little bit more experience, and we were a little more comfortable this year. But Logan Hovenak coming off the bench as a sophomore this year, started about half the games this season, and is another sophomore that could, is easily a starter type guy, our best defender probably. So, we got several other sophomores, Jacob Vance, David Browning, who played a lot of minutes throughout the season for us in big games and did well.
And Jay Brock emerges as your shooter. He hits 5 threes in that state championship game, 11 for the tournament. And Keaton Terry was unbelievable. He was as good as any player that took the floor in any of the games on Saturday. And he finishes with 23 points and 19 rebounds. How good, and he's one of your sophomores, how good can Keaton Terry be by the time he's a senior?
Keaton's a Division I talent. He has an offer right now from South Carolina State and getting a lot of interest from other Division I schools. He's had some bad luck. Last year, he missed several games with an ankle. This year, of course, he broke his hand in October and had to have surgery and, missed, 10 or 11 games this year. So he hasn't got to play a full season yet, and I think him, if he ever gets to play a full season, I think we'll really see even better Keaton Terry. And the kid works extremely hard in the off season. He's handling the ball a lot for us now. He brought the ball up the floor against pressure a lot over there this week.
Yeah.
And that's something he developed from last year to this year. And Jay's been, night and day from the first 10 games. After the first 10 games this season, he was shooting 16% from threes. And then he finished the season shooting 48. So after game 10 of the season, he shot close to 60% from threes.
And again, Terry at 6'7". So is there any indication he's going to continue to grow, or what do you think there?
I don't know, but the kid plays like a 6'9" kid now. He's got a 7'4" wingspan, so he's extremely long, and his length makes him closer probably to 6'9". And the length is really more important than the height, in my opinion. As far as the next level, he's got next level size, and I think he can keep developing his guard skills, and I think he could be a 3-4 type guy at the next level.
Well, again, Coach, congratulations on this, and the future's bright. You win this state championship with, again, a handful of seniors, but as you mentioned, it's a sophomore group, and I know after taking a few days off, maybe a week, right, you're going to start working on next year, and it's going to be an opportunity for this program and this team to continue to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, try to keep these guys busy, and they're already asking, when we're going to start playing again, things like that. So they're excited. I mean, and that's great. I'm happy for them. Hopefully we can keep them excited and keep them working hard.
All right, Coach, again, we appreciate your time, and again, we're scheduled to be joined by Eli Smith here in just a couple of moments. I'm going to go ahead and get a break in, and hopefully we'll get a call from Eli here. Sounds like he might be ringing in right now. But again, Coach, congratulations on this to you and your community, and we'll take a quick break here, be joined by Eli Smith. Coach Brad Napier, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We've got more coming up on the Sportsline. An update from that women's game. It's Kentucky 62, West Virginia 50 after 3 quarters. So they're headed to the 4th quarter of play. We'll take a quick break. We've got more coming up on the CityNet statewide sports line. Since 1979, the health plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The health plan.
The WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center offers a comprehensive surgical program to help you obtain a healthy weight and improve your quality of life. Our nationally recognized bariatrics program has a strong focus on pre-surgery education and long-term weight loss after surgery. We're here to help you every step of the way. Reserve your spot at the next free no-obligation information session by calling 304-293-1728.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline for this Monday, a big basketball Monday, a big week. We're talking about Chapmanville State Championship in Class AAA. We'll visit with some of the other victorious coaches and players as we move along this week. Of course, the women's game going on. Sydney Shaw has hit a couple of threes early in the fourth quarter. Mimi Wheeler had a move to the basket, got herself an easy two there. Kentucky, though, not having an issue with the press. They've broken the press the last several times and gotten points after they've broken the press. Kentucky still in front. It's 64-58 with about 7.5 minutes to play, and West Virginia in transition. Jordan Harrison scores, so the Mountaineers are on a run. They've got it to within 4 points, 64-60, with about 7.5 to play. We're joined now by Eli Smith of Chapmanville High School, state champion Chapmanville. And Eli, good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for calling. How's that sound? State champ.
That sounds good.
I asked your coach this. I'm going to ask you, what's the last 48 hours been like? Describe the trip back into Chapmanville after that state championship victory early Saturday evening.
It's been pretty good, coming back. You obviously have a lot of people congratulating you, and it feels good to, walk around just knowing that you've accomplished something that, that's all everybody wants, especially playing for a high school team. You always want to accomplish a state championship, and, just coming back knowing you did it and seeing everybody happy, and it truly means a lot.
You helped set the tone with this team for the week with your best scoring effort of the tournament against Robert C. Byrd in the quarterfinal round. 17 points. You hit a three. You made your free throws, got to the line a lot. What was going on in that contest? What allowed you to excel offensively there?
Just mainly me knowing that if we're going to win this, I got to contribute as well as my teammates do. I knew I had to make my free throws when I had the opportunity to shoot them because, everything counts, especially when you're playing in the tournament. You can't slack off on anything. So I kind of knew I needed to, just come in and, just turn it up, and that's what we did. And I think that's the reason we came out, because we all knew that if we want to win this, we're going to have to get past that first game.
Then fast forward to the state championship game. We'll set it up here. You guys have a 3-point lead, and East Fairmont calls a timeout. They work the ball around, good ball movement. They get a look for Eli Ramsey out of the corner for a three that potentially ties the game. And your head coach, Brad Napier, just told us you got a hand on that. You tipped that ball. Is that what happened? And how did you see that final play there transpire and eventually break down?
Yeah, I kind of got little fingers on it. I seen, Eli Ramsey, he's a really good player. I'm pretty sure he's averaging like 20 points a game. So I see my teammate Kai Martin. He went to close out and he pump faked him, which led to Kai jumping for it. And because in that moment you probably think they're going to want to get a three. And I just seen him jump out, and I knew I had to, stop it. So I did everything I could, used every piece of my energy to jump out there, and somehow got the tip and allowed him not to, score that three, because I knew that's what North Marion does. Is they're a really good shooting team. So I knew I had to rush out there and try to block that three, and somehow I tipped a little bit of it, and that was a big moment.
Whatever was left after 3 games in a short period of time and late in the state championship game, whatever was left, you used it up to get a finger on that last 3-point attempt.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, and then Keaton Terry goes to the line, hits a free throw, sews it up, 71-67, the final score. As a senior, as one of the seniors on this team, what does it feel like to get through this season? I know you had some injury adversity with Keaton missing some time, and you guys just steadily climbed the ladder in AAA and peaked here in the state tournament. As a leader on this team, how gratifying is that?
It's really gratifying. The fact that we kind of started out the year, a lot. It was actually more than Keaton. We had Benji, my other senior. He was dealing with shoulder issues and finger, like he broke his finger, I'm pretty sure. And it was kind of tough starting out that first half of that season. But as we went on, we continued to just get healthier, and we knew like we'd have to turn it up the second half of the season. And I appreciate our JV guys a lot. I feel like the JV guys need to get a little bit more credit just on the fact that they showed up every day and did stuff to, prepare us for this moment, just by critiquing our game and making sure we can come in and just, win it all. And that's what I really appreciate the JV guys for. So it's definitely it's a big deal for sure.
Yeah, that is a big deal because, again, you're short. You got some guys out, and you've got to not only you've got to improve, right? Where did this team improve the most, do you think, from maybe December and January through March in the state tournament?
I think after we got back from Florida, went down to Florida, played some tough teams on there, ended up going 2-1, and then lost to a really good Erie team out of Pennsylvania. At the time they was like 10-0, I'm pretty sure. And I think that really, set a fire in us, knowing if we're going on a state and, beating these teams, then there's no reason we don't do it in state, because them teams out there is pretty good. So I think that Florida trip and playing in that tournament really showed us all that we were capable of, winning every in-state game. And, we ended up losing to, as soon as we got back, we lost to a really good Ashland team. And that's another game that kind of told us, all right, we need to step it up. And then from that point forward, it just everything was good.
Yeah, everything clicked in. You got your guys back. You got healthy and everything clicked in. How about the young talent on this team? You're one of the seniors, but there's a ton of sophomores, including Jay Brock, who hit 11 threes in this tournament. And, of course, Keaton Terry, who, fans who didn't know about him or hadn't seen him, he put on an incredible show this week at the state tournament. The program's in good hands, isn't it?
Yes, it's in really good hands. Keaton and Jay, being a senior, and you kind of need to, so my thing is I need to, I was telling them, I basically made them realize, how good they was. I tried to come in every day and tell them, you're going to have to do this when it comes to state tournament. And, just being a senior, I kind of, had to let them know that, if you want to win this, we're going to need you guys. And, ever since, I'm pretty sure it was as soon as we got back from Florida, Jay started turning up. And, when Keaton got back healthy, obviously his first game back, I'm pretty sure he had 18 and 15 rebounds on the first game back from a broke hand, which was crazy. And, just from that point forward, it really just took me and the older guys telling them that they're capable of doing a lot. And, just from then it's been pure, it's been money.
Yeah. A couple more things. We'll let you go. But I was taken. I'm from North Central West Virginia. I'm from Morgantown, so I don't get to see. I do games all season long, but they're all up here. I don't get to see Southern West Virginia basketball in person until we get to the state tournament. And I know all about it because I've been going to the tournament for years, and I know who brings the big crowds, and it's Southern West Virginia. That Wednesday night when you guys played Robert C. Byrd, and then Winfield played Ripley, and then Logan played Wyoming East. My goodness, that was a showcase for Southern West Virginia basketball, and it was crazy. It was loud. It was packed. And, again, that just shows everybody what Southern West Virginia basketball is all about.
Yeah, I feel like Southern West Virginia it's actually really underrated. There's a lot of good rivals down here. Especially us. We didn't get to play this year, but, Logan and Chapmanville has always been a really big rival in Southern West Virginia. And, you have, schools like Tug Valley and all these other schools, Wyoming East. And, there's a lot of rivals down here. And, yeah, Southern West Virginia, it definitely is. If you want to find good basketball and watch good games and dog fights, it's down here.
Yeah, absolutely. What Eli, what's next for you? You on to college?
I've been looking into it. Obviously, I don't want to leak info right now, but here soon. People probably see something here soon.
All right, okay. There's just a little foreshadowing there. That's good. That's great to hear that you're gonna move on and have a great. Do you play a spring sport?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Just strictly basketball.
So you're gonna concentrate on basketball and keeping in shape and having fun. You get to have fun in the spring, right? Prom and graduation and all that stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Eli, congratulations on this state championship, and it's been nice getting to know you a little bit. And thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you. Eli
Smith there of Chapmanville, senior leader on the Tigers AAA state championship team. Kentucky leading West Virginia 70-63. Gia Cook at the foul line. 4 minutes to play. She misses, so it's going to be at least a 6-point advantage for Kentucky, 70-63 final 4 minutes. We'll get another update from the Coliseum with Greg when we return on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this, or what about that? And it just went back and forth, and I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you're just getting me fired up. Now
Right.
you just
Okay, so I'm gonna
I'm
gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Update from the WVU Coliseum with Greg Hunter, 72-66, Kentucky leading West Virginia, 2:45 to play. Greg, there was a lengthy review there. Was that it was possession, right? The ball went into the corner and Clara threw it off one of the Mountaineer players. Yeah, she threw it off one of the Mountaineer players.
Yeah, they didn't reset the shot clock, which they should have. They got that one right. It hit the rim, so they had to reset the shot clock. But West Virginia did give up a basket out of that, but then Sydney Shaw hits a three to pull West Virginia within three, and the Mountaineers get possession, but they can't convert on their end. So West Virginia trailing by three with 1:30. Just under 1:30 left in this game as Kentucky takes a timeout.
All right, good. We got a good time. Let me know when the timeout's over. We'll let you go because it's crunch time. Well, West Virginia was down by double digits. Talk about the comeback here.
Yeah, I mean, West Virginia's trailed by double digits a couple of times in this game. Down by 11 in the first half, came back and tied it by halftime. Kentucky goes out on a nice run to start the second half, but West Virginia marches back, and they haven't come all the way back in this one, still trailing by three, but very much in contention in the final minute and a half of this one. So it's been about as exciting as we expected. Wonderful crowd here at the Coliseum, just like it was on Saturday, and really the matchup we anticipated. The height of Kentucky has been really, really evident. But West Virginia's been able to do enough to hang around in this game, made some shots. Sydney Shaw, Gia Cook both have hit some really nice shots for the Mountaineers. And this one's going down to the wire. West Virginia, needs a stop on this ensuing possession now.
Yeah, Kentucky's really pounded them on the boards, 38-22. They've doubled the number of offensive rebounds, and the second chance points have been a factor. Having said that, West Virginia shot the ball better, much better. Sydney Shaw's hit some huge threes in this second half to help them come back.
Yeah, and they're getting turnovers and steals are the Mountaineers as their normal operation. Not quite as many as maybe others. Kentucky's done a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball, but Jordan Harrison just ripped one loose to get down floor, force a free throw opportunities for her to narrow this lead even further. But the one thing I'll give Kentucky a lot of credit for, every time West Virginia starts to make a real run, they've found a way to hit a key bucket to keep West Virginia at arm's length. Now this thing's coming down even closer and closer. So this final minute's going to be really, impactful and thrilling.
All right, we'll let you go watch it. Greg, thanks. We'll see you in here. Well, we won't see you. You've got football tomorrow. Brad and I will be in here tomorrow. That'll be a big part of the show, spring football. Very good.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Greg Hunter there at the Coliseum. We're going to let him go watch the end. And the two free throws are good. So it's 72-71. Kentucky leading West Virginia with 1:20 to go. And again, Jordan Harrison just ripped the ball away from Clara Strack and came to the other end. And that allowed West Virginia that opportunity to score from the free throw line. Kentucky has scored again. They have added a basket. And what Greg said there is just absolutely true. Every time West Virginia draws closer, Kentucky finds somebody to come up with a huge shot. And in this instance, it was Tony Morgan, the point guard, who got a jumper to make it 74-71 with 54 seconds left. A jumper from just outside the foul line, about 16 feet from Tony Morgan with 54 seconds to go. Still a one-possession game. West Virginia trailing Kentucky 74-71. And again, we'll have a complete recap of this contest. You can read and watch Greg Carey and Joe Bricato's work at the website, wvmetronews.com, when this game comes to an end. And, of course, we'll talk about it in depth tomorrow on the Sportsline. And Coach Hunter will be going to spring practice. West Virginia back in spring football mode starting tomorrow night. Last week was spring break, so no workouts. I believe they canceled or postponed the last workout prior to that. So there is a practice tomorrow. Coach Rich Rodriguez will meet the media, and we'll have coverage of that. We'll try and get you some of the comments from Rich Rodriguez on the Sportsline tomorrow night. And Rick Trickett is scheduled to meet the media as well. So we'll have an opportunity to learn Rick Trickett's thought process in coming back and joining this coaching staff led by Rich Rodriguez. Down to 33 seconds to go, and West Virginia's down by 3. 33 seconds to go, 74-71, and we're probably going to end up going off the air here before this is over. But again, two tremendous teams. As Brad said very early on in the program, obviously two teams that are very worthy of Sweet 16 consideration. Kentucky really sharpened by the schedule they played in the SEC, and they didn't beat any of those top 10 teams, but they played a bunch of them, and you can tell that that has helped them down the stretch. Kentucky just had a player foul out with 33 seconds to go. So Asia Boone, who was key in the second half, she hit 3 massive three-pointers in the second half of this contest, but Asia Boone fouls out with 33 seconds to go, and it is 74-72 as the first free throw is good. This is excruciating because we're gonna go off the air right when this contest is coming to an end. But Gia Cook makes both free throws, so it's 74-73. Kentucky leading West Virginia with 33 seconds to play in the contest. Again, I'm sure you're out there watching the game and listening to us, so you're going to find out very soon who wins this contest if the Mountaineers can complete the comeback. But Joe Bricato will have highlights, we'll have post-game reaction. Greg Carey will have the story at WVMetronews.com. We hope you'll join us tomorrow night for the Sportsline. We'll go over this. We'll talk Mountaineer football from spring practice as well. Timeout on the floor. Kentucky calls the timeout. 33 seconds left. Kentucky 74, West Virginia 73. Thanks for listening to the Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.